I'm Ira Block, a Sony artisan of imagery and a longtime National Geographic photographer. Storytelling through photos is becoming a lost art, I think. Most of my work has been cultural documentaries, what I like to call it, and I am photographing people most of the time. And wherever you are, you have to develop a relationship with them. And once that's developed, you're able to then find different aspects of their life and of the general culture that fit into the story, that make the statements that are necessary. My go-to lens for most of my photography is probably the Sony 24-70, and now it's the G Master 2 that I use, because that range of 24-70, I'm able to get the majority of my people's shots. I could work at 24 to 28 millimeters for the wide shot, at 70 millimeters if I need close-ups or details, or even a tight headshot, a shot of someone's eyes, a shot of someone's face. Faces alone will tell the story. When photographers put on a 200 millimeter lens and stand across the street and try to photograph people, well, big mistake, because suddenly you're lurking and you're stalking somebody. It looks like a paparazzi type photo. For me, you're much better off getting close to the people. You establish your relationship, and I like to get close to my subject with a wider lens, 28, 35 millimeter, sometimes 24. And that way I'm able to photograph the people close, maybe 4 or 5 feet away, and they're large in my frame. And the background, because it's a wide lens, spreads out. So now I've got a person in their environment. That's a kind of photo that tells a story. It's a great opening photo of a person, their environment. Once you establish that, you continue shooting other types of photos. Over the years, my go-to camera changes because cameras change and really become more functional. Currently, my favorite camera is the Sony Alpha 1 version 2. It covers most of what I do. I like it because it's really responsive, not like a sports photographer. I'm speaking responsive in just, I could get a picture quickly of a person. The focus is great, it just locks in. The shutter lapse between the time you press the shutter and it takes the picture is non-existent. The nice thing about the modern cameras is that you could set it up and fine-tune it to the way you work. Now, the way I work is going to be different than someone else, but typically, I always use the back button autofocus, and I turn off the shutter focus. That way, focusing, I hit the back button, my focus is locked in, I could recompose a little bit, and then hit the shutter and nothing on the focus changes. For me, the eye autofocus and the tracking autofocus are extraordinary. They've really changed the way I shoot. I typically can track anybody now as they move with my back button focus and always have them in focus wherever they are in the frame. Similar to the tracking autofocus is the eye autofocus. So if I'm working close enough with a person, the eye autofocus just gets on their eye, and wherever they move, the focus stays the same. So I have a method of switching easily between eye autofocus and then tracking autofocus. The amazing thing about the new cameras are that you could shoot at high ISO without really degrading the photo. The image still looks good. 800, 1600, 3200, those are numbers that are unbelievable to me, but the image looks good, and I always advise people, don't worry about shooting 100 ISO or 200 ISO if it impacts your shutter speed. Because if you're suddenly shooting at a 30th of a second or a 15th of a second and your image is blurred, it doesn't matter how terrific the image quality as far as noise and ISO look, you've got a blurred image. You're much better off, say, instead of being at a 30th of a second at 100 ISO going up, see, 4 stops, so you'd be at a 500th of a second. And even though the cameras have in-body image stabilization, that only stabilizes you. If you're shooting people and they're moving, the stabilization does no good. Most people, when they're speaking and they're moving their head like this, if you're not at least at a 2/50th of a second, you're going to get motion when people are going like that. So don't be fooled thinking you're getting great image quality at 100 ISO and shooting at, say, a 30th or a 60th. If you're shooting people, a 2/50th is your starting point. Years ago, I was shooting in the Moroccan desert at night, and there were some locals playing music by candlelight. I had at that time, it was the A7S1, which has a 12 megapixel sensor, and it was dark. It was really dark. I think I had my 55 millimeter 1.8 lens wide open, and I had no choice but to jack the ISO up to 52,000. So I was able to shoot, I think, at about a 2/50th at 1.8, and some of the musicians were playing the drums and their hands were moving. And when I got home and looked at the files, I was totally amazed. There was noise in it, but the noise looked like old style film grain, and it reminded me of the type of journalistic documentary picture you got when you used Tri-X film in the old days. So the grain, the noise, had a certain look to it that fit the situation. People will ask me when they look at my images, why am I shooting portraits horizontally? We see the world horizontally. And for me, a portrait of a person, which is a person's face tends to be vertical. You put a vertical face in a vertical frame, there's no tension there. You put a vertical face in a horizontal frame, and there seems to be some tension there. The other thing that happens when I shoot horizontally is that many times I'll cut the top of the head off and just say go from mid head down below the chin. I think that brings people into the eyes. It makes you connect with your subject's eyes. And that, when you connect with your subject's eyes and someone's looking at the picture, they too connect with the subject's eyes, which brings me to the catchlight theory. If you have somebody with really dark eyes, you don't have a connection there. I always try to put a catchlight in the eyes for some reason that makes the viewer draw in closer to the person. Thanks for watching. I hope you've picked up some tips, learned a little something about enjoying photography. You could see my photos, the best place, Instagram, @IraBlockPhoto. Take it from there.